Everybody, and welcome along to this, I suppose it's a tutorial of sorts, as to how I made my little accordion book. I know some of you wanted to see how to do it so you could follow along with things that I'm doing. This is mine. It's gradually filling up. I'm aiming on doing a page a day, but if I don't do that, it doesn't matter. No pressure. So that's my cover, and then you open it up and you've got this double page spread here, and you'll see the hinge in between here. Lots of loose threads, and I'll show you what I make mine with. Another page, another hinge. These are visible, so you need to give thought to what you're going to cover your hinges with, because you're going to see it on every page. And that folds over. Now you see the construction of the hinge on the pages. That folds over again, and this will be my cover. And then we go through again. And that brings us back to the start. Now you can add as many or as few pages as you want to. This one felt doable to me. I think if it had been much bigger than this, I would have felt intimidated by it, and that it was too much work, and I didn't really want to be doing too much, just something that I enjoyed on a daily basis. So this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 2 of them are covers. So I have cut out, mine measures 6 by 4, 6 high, 4 wide. If I turn to there, you'll see better. So it's 6 inches high, 4 inches across. So I've got 2 cut in, well, we call it grey board. I think in the States you call it chipboard. It's just a thick, robust card is what it is. If you want to, use cereal boxes, stick a couple of layers together and you'll have a nice thick card. So don't be put off by you haven't got any chipboard or grey card or whatever. Use what you've got. Stick enough layers together till you've got something that's fairly rigid. Now the pages in my book I made by using a thing called grunge paper. Tim Holtz and Ranger, they do this thing called grunge board, and it comes in 2 thicknesses. It comes in a thick one like this, like the grey board, and it comes in a thinner one, which is grunge paper. Now I've used, the thing about the grunge paper and card is it'll take whatever you want to throw at it, and it'll bend, and it'll keep bending. It won't give way, unlike ordinary card, which after flexing a few times, it would lose its integrity. This stuff doesn't, it just bends. And I used it for my pages because I knew I was going to be using fabric, and I knew that the fabric would have some bend in it itself, and I didn't want that to happen and the card underneath to get bent permanently, and then I could never get it to sit flat again. So that was why I used grunge paper as my pages, but you absolutely don't have to. I had it. I didn't buy it at full price or anything. I just had it, so I thought I'd give it a bit of a go. And I'm pleased I did, but I don't think I've got enough for another one, but we'll see. So how to make it? Right, well, I've got my front and back cover, so I need 3 more pages out of something, whatever it is I choose to use. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's have a look at the grunge paper and see what I've got left. If I can find my way in. Here we are. Sorry, that's a bit glary on the screen. So this is all the grunge paper I've got left to my name, and I don't really want to buy any more. This is interesting actually. I was trying to cut some pieces out on the Sizzix, what's it called? Die cutting machine, yes, that's it. And it wouldn't cut for love nor money. And I think the problem was I was using Thinlits dies, and it just wouldn't have it. You can see it's made a great impression, and I could, if I wanted, fussy cut them, but it wouldn't cut through them at all. that's the grunge board. This is the grunge paper, and yeah, it has cut through them just. And I used that for the hinge on one of the, oh no, I think it was in the other folder. So yeah, the grunge board, you won't cut thinlits on it. The grunge paper, you just about will. You might have to go through several times and use more shims than you would normally. Anyway, that's that. So that's grunge board as well, I think. Or is that paper? Oh, it's paper. Ooh, that's a bonus. So let's just see what this measures. It measures 6 by 4. Wow. I think I must have cut these out when I was making this one and thought I was going to make a much longer accordion than I did. So that's a score always up, isn't it? So yes, cut your grunge paper or card. It could be card if you wanted it to be. Maybe something a little bit, sturdy, like this, for example. Say 240 GSM, something like that. But I've got this grunge board and I'm going to go with it because, as I say, I like it, and I'm using fabric, and it's just going to bounce back whatever you throw at it. So right, I've got my cover, my 3 pages, my other cover. We're nearly there. Now then, the hinges themselves I made out of grunge paper, and I can't think of any other, oops, sorry, just kicked the microphone, any other material that would give me this ability, this bendability, time on time on time on time, and it's always going to, bounce back. So I think I've got a piece of, no, I think they're both grunge paper, and I've cut these at 2 by 4. Okay, so they're 2 inches wide, 4 inches tall, and in all I need, good job, I've got this one done, isn't it? I need 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 2 here, so I just need to cut myself another 2 of these. Then we're ready to get cracking. 2 by 4, I said. So let's cut this off at 2 inches wide. So I hope you like all the Tim Holtz fabric stuff I've been doing lately. I've really been enjoying it. It's, as I say, it's just I just do it as I feel like it. It's nice to think that I'll do a page a day, but if I don't, it doesn't matter. I'm not doing it as a commission or anything else. It's just, I'm just doing it. At the end, I probably will sell it. But at the moment, I'm just doing it. So I want this to be 2 by 6. So let's cut this out of here. 2 by 4. The hinges are 2 by 4. Right, there we are. So we've got our 4 hinges that are 2 by 4. We've got 2 covers that are 4 by 6, and we've got 3 pages that are 4 by 6. So 3 of those, 2 covers, 4 hinges. Okay, and that will build a journal the same as the one that I'm using at the moment. I did lay out this craft card because I thought it might be an alternative for people. It's fairly sturdy, and if you haven't got grunge board, maybe it would be all right for hinges. I'm not sure. I'm not putting my name to that. It probably will be all right, but I couldn't guarantee it. Okay, so the first thing to do is we need to cover in fabric our hinges. Now I'm using fabric. I know that works. I know I've opened this dozens of times and nothing's happened. It hasn't sort of creased or cockled or anything. So yeah, I know that fabric works. You could use paper or you could use paper. I did watch Gail make her accordion book, and it was completely different to this, completely. She actually married the pages right up together. You'll see it on her channel, but she's using paper, and it's a very different thing. I wanted to leave this, it's an inch that's visible here, because I knew that I would be building depth into my pages. If you can see, that's quite deep, that frame, and here we've got this charm that's also deep, and I didn't want them to be sort of squashing, too much squashed together. So I wanted to leave plenty of room in the hinges so as I could have plenty of bulk in the journal. Right, so let's just get cracking with the hinges. Now, I've opted this time not to do a Tim Holtz one. I know, shock horror. But I thought some of you, that you're just not into Tim Holtz, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different. So I'm using this fabric, which is just so pretty. I absolutely adore it. I don't know if it's got a right and a wrong way. It's a 2007 fabric, so it's a little bit old, and it's called Cottage Arbor. It's really pretty, and I need this to be slightly over 4 inches because I don't mind if it frays. So I'm gonna tear along it once I get to see where the 4-inch mark is, and trust that this edge, actually I'll do it the other way and then I know it's straight. Sometimes it's just not cut on the weave through nobody's fault, it's just the way it happens. So I've got my solve edge, so I'm going to not include that in this measurement, put that there and make a little snip with my scissors. And I want it just over 4, as I say, because I want it overlapped to the top and bottom, and I want to tear that solve edge off as well, so I'll make a little snip there. There we go. So tear the solve edge off. I like the torn look, I like the frayed bits and whatever. If you don't like that, cut it, and then you'll get a much smoother finish. There we go. So let's fold up what's left here. It's so pretty, this, isn't it? I was thinking I might go down the Shabby Chic route. Just something lighter than the Tim Holtz for a while. There we go, that's folded up nicely. Right, so let's just have a look at this. Let's pull off the threads that are particularly noticeable. It will fray a bit more, but we'll just tidy it up a little bit. That's fine. Right. So, there we have it. And here's a hinge. Here we have a hinge. So what I want to do is glue that to the edge there. So I'm going to put the glue onto my grunge paper. I'm using Fabri-Tac. I'll see how it works. Actually, art glitter glue is a fabulous glue for thin fabric to card. Works really, really well, and it tends not to come through, but we'll see. We'll see how the Fabri-Tac gets on. So I want that right up to the edge. If you want to make your life easier, iron your fabric. So I've got a little bit top and bottom sticking out, and that's fine. That's what I intended. So it's all going rather well. Right, so on this side, same thing. A little bit of glue. And if you want to sew these after, that's fine. You don't need to be so cautious with your glue. I'm not going to sew mine. So I'm just going to make sure I've got glue up to the edges. Right, so now I want to take this piece and fold it right up to that crease there, back on itself, like that. So there we have one piece of grunge paper encased in very pretty fabric. And that's kind of all there is to it. Let's just trim that off there. Taking care not to trim your hinge. So there we have it. That's one hinge. And really that is as easy as that. And so you carry on and you do another 3, which I'm going to do, and I'll join you when I've finished all 4. Right, okay, I've got my 4 hinges completed, covered on both sides with fabric. They look pretty, don't they? So the next thing to do is to stick them into our book. So I'm taking one of my cover pieces, one of my harder grey card, whatever you want to call it, chipboard, and I'm going to put this an inch apart. Now I'm lucky, on my mat I've got inch marks, so I can just easily do that. Put it to the inch mark, and this one an inch away. So I'm going to have, the hinge is going to be an inch, and then we'll have half an hour, half an inch on either side. So it's going to go like that. Okay, and because these measure 4 and our covers measure 6, we need an inch overlap, and it needs to start an inch up. But we did make the fabric, I did at any rate, a little longer, so just going to start that just beneath an inch, and it should end just beneath, just inside the inch there. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. So I'm going to carry on using my Fabri-Tac, which has got to be the world's most hated glue. It's hideous, but never mind, it does the job. So I'm using the grids on my mat as my guide as to where I need to glue. Let's just pop one side on first, just there over where you've glued. So you've just got, it's a scant ½ inch actually over that side there, but it doesn't matter because you're never going to see this. You'll never see this again. Goodbye. Because once you stick your page on, you won't see that. You'll just see the actual hinge. Right, so let's just move that and get some glue on this side. There we are. Line those up like so before you drop it on it. Exactly lined up, and then press that down. And that's our first hinge on, and they're all identical. So it's not a difficult thing to do. It is made easier for me by the fact I've got an inch board, but perhaps you could work yours out in centimetres if that's what you've got, you know. So let's move along swiftly to the next one. So I'm going to get this lined up again on the inch markers, and another piece of grunge paper, leave an inch, and then bring this one up to there. I don't think I've cut this one out very well actually, because it looks like it's a bit short, but I'm not particularly worried. This is a very forgiving sort of book, it really is. So I want to just come in, just leaving less than an inch there, ½ an inch over onto the grunge paper, and just over that inch marker there. Let's do the same on this side. while we've got the glue out. Down to there, lovely. Right, ooh, let's just move that, which is not helpful. There we go. So let's take our next hinge and stick it on. And you want it to be the same height as your other one. So I think that's about there. Let's stick that down. I'm just going to give them a good press down. And just carry on in that manner. So move that along. Get another piece of the grunge paper out. Line this up with my inches. Line this up, leaving an inch gap. These have been really badly cut out, but fine for our purposes. Same thing again. Just down to there. Pop another hinge on. It's fairly repetitive, this, to be fair, but it's got to be done. And that's that. Lovely. And then this is our last hinge, so we're going to put the cover on here. So I've got grunge paper here and I'm going to put the cover on, which will be either the back or the front. It doesn't matter because it goes round and round and round. So let's get that there. And this an inch gap, like so. Glue again. Oh, Fabri-Tac. It does a good job though, so I shouldn't be too horrible about it. It's just so gloopy. It wants to come up a little bit more. Miscounted. So this is our last hinge out of the 4 that I'm putting on mine. But as I say, if you are feeling adventurous, carry on, put more pages in. There we go. I think that's fine. Now then, that should be our accordion book made. And it doesn't look anything much like an accordion book. That I will grant you. Just get this glue off my mat while it's still... Right, so what I did was... Let's get this one out and I'll show you. This is the cover. So I've folded it there. So what I did was fold this, and really you're better off leaving this till it dries, to be quite honest with you. As with any glue, if you fold it before it's dry, it does wrinkle up a bit. So I think that's the best thing to do. I'm not blessed with a lot of patience, but I think on this occasion I'll just leave that till it's dry. I'll just pause you so you won't have to hang around. And we'll come back when all this is dry. Okay? Okay, so here we are. It's dried. It's certainly had time to dry anyway. So all I'm going to do now is fold it over. And really to do that, I just want to bring this cover over on top of that page. So I'm just going to bring it over like that and fold it so it matches that page there. And just give it a bit of a press just with your thumbs at this stage. And then it's like a zigzag back on itself. So we're going to take this one and fold it back the way onto this page here. Trying to get them fairly straight, but it's a bit difficult with the grunge paper because it's got a bit of a mind of its own. And just press that down, turn it over and do the same thing again. So just lining your pages up, really, that's what you're doing, rather more than anything to do with the hinges at this stage. Just line your pages up and then turning over again, and we want this one here to match that page. And there we go, I think that's about it. So there's our, well, this way actually, there's our little accordion book. Let's just crease those in. Don't them too firmly creased in, or I don't. I know that I'm going to be building bulk into this journal. That's kind of the attraction of the whole thing for me, that I can build bulk. So there we have it. That there is our little accordion book, like that. And you can see that they're not that keen on bending at this stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them all exactly lined up, or lined up as best as I can. Get my box of clips out and clip it. So I'm going to clip it there to start with. Just make sure you've got your pages as straight as you can. There. If you've got your pages straight, the hinges will follow. They will be straight. And there. Now then, you can go on and you can clip your hinges. And I think I'll do that. I've got some pink ones here that Fancy Nancy sent me that don't actually grab as tight as the red ones, so I think I'll give them a go. How many lovely pink ones do I have? 2 and 2, right, okay. So I can add another couple to each side. There we are. There we are, and there we are. And that's it. I can tell you no more at this stage. That is the basics, the basis for your accordion journal. And that's not quite square. I think actually my well, I know the pages that are cut out from the grunge paper were not square, but you know, they'll be fine because I'm sticking fabric onto it and whatever, and that's a done deal as far as I'm concerned. Next thing to do is what we're going to put in it. Now you can go your own way. I'm sure that's a song by Fleetwood Mac, and do whatever you want. You could have covered your hinges in whatever fabric you want. If you want to make this a book for a little one, maybe, I don't know, dinosaurs, jungle animals, whatever you fancy. I just really like this. I mean, it's right up my street, isn't it? Have a look at it. It's gorgeous. I also had some Liberty fabric that I toyed with using, but actually it was just a touch too thin, I thought. So that's it. We're there. We've done it. I've been posting on the Facebook group, Miss Paint-A-Lot's Junk Journal group, my progress with this as I've gone through it. It's really quite dimensional. I mean, this here is very, very poofy. It's lovely. I really like it, actually. And this is the page that I've just completed today, which is, I'll show you the fabric if I can find, yeah, here's the fabric. This is the fabric that I used. I mean, have you ever seen anything quite so delicious in all of your life? apart from Mr. F. So that was the fabric I used for the outside, and then I coloured using inks, and I embossed the paper, and then I used inks on it to get this sort of look. Then I put it down, and you know, blah blah blah. It's got loads of layers on it. What can I tell you? So there we are. I've still got loads to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 still to do. But it's coming along and I'm enjoying it, which is really what it's all about. So I shall see you very soon when I think the next thing to do probably is do the front cover for this, or maybe one of the inside pages. And I think I'm going to do Shabby Chic. I think so. So I've got a drawer by the side of me here that's full of lace that I looked out when I was doing the cover of the file folder, which is... We've got so many projects on the go at the moment, guys. What's going on? What exactly is going on? This is the... Oh my goodness. It's the month... Tag a month that Kyung... Well, she didn't challenge me. She just said it would be nice if you did a tag every month to say what you've been busy with that month. So I think I did that one. I don't know how come I've ended up with 3 and we've only had 1 month. I don't know how that happened, but we have. I've got 3. That could be the cover, actually. I'll say that's the cover. And then we've got this one and this one. So I can't do any more on that really for about another month, because it's got too many in it as it is. And then these, let's move this out of the way. And these are the ones that we've been doing our week by week tags. Give you a prompt every week and you do a tag. This is one cover, this is the other. I actually found a lovely lacy butterfly the other day that I think would go nicely there. And this is what we've done. We've done the green one. Green was the prompt for this. Purple was the prompt for that one, and that's, I think, as far as we've got with that. And this one is the one where I've been putting my practice tags in. And actually, I still like that one better than the other green one, but the green doesn't really stand out. And that was the purple one. So, yeah, and this week's blue, so it'll go there. And that's all the projects that I've got on the go at the minute, which seems to me to be plenty for anybody. But I don't feel burdened by it. You know, these are once a week, that's once a month. And the accordion book is really whenever I feel like it. So, thanks for joining me. I hope if you want to make an accordion book, I hope my instruction was clear enough that you could follow. So I'm going to leave this overnight at least. Just leave it like that to dry, set, come to its senses. And tomorrow I will have a look and see if I'm in the mood to make a Shabby Chic page. If not, well, I'm not. See you soon, guys. Thanks for joining me. Bye.